July 18th, AD 64. Rome sleeps under a full moon. Around midnight, flames erupt in shops selling flammable goods near the Circus Maximus, Rome's massive chariot racing stadium. Summer winds fan the fire. Within minutes, flames leap from building to building through the densely packed wooden tenements where Rome's poor live crammed together. The fire consumes everything: temples 800 years old, irreplaceable artwork, entire neighborhoods. For 6 days it rages, then briefly subsides, before reigniting for 3 more days. When smoke finally clears, 10 of Rome's 14 districts lie in ruins. Thousands are dead, hundreds of thousands homeless. The population searches for someone to blame. Rumors immediately point to Emperor Nero. He wanted to clear space for a new palace, people whisper. He burned Rome deliberately. Whether true or not, Nero needs scapegoats. Fast. He finds them in a small, despised sect called Christians. Christianity in AD 64 is barely 3 decades old. Most Romans have never heard of it. Those who have consider it a bizarre offshoot of Judaism, a mischievous superstition practiced by lower-class troublemakers. Christians refuse to worship the emperor. They won't sacrifice to Roman gods. They hold secret nighttime meetings and speak of Rome's coming destruction. Their leader was executed as a criminal in Judea under Pontius Pilate. They worship a crucified carpenter as divine. To sophisticated Romans, this is absurd. To authorities, it's potentially dangerous. Christians live clustered in Rome's Jewish quarter, near the Capena Gate, east of the Circus Maximus, exactly where the fire started. Nero recognizes an opportunity. These unpopular outsiders make perfect scapegoats. Tacitus, Rome's greatest historian, writes decades later about what happens next. Though only 8 years old during the fire, he uses public records and eyewitness accounts to document Nero's actions. Tacitus explains that to Scotch rumors Nero blamed him for the fire, the emperor substituted as culprits a class hated for their abominations, whom the crowd called Christians. First, confessed members of the sect were arrested. Then, based on their testimony, vast numbers were convicted, not so much for arson as for hatred of the human race. The charge is deliberately vague. Christians are convicted less for burning Rome than for being Christians. Their very existence offends Roman values. Their refusal to honor traditional gods threatens the Pax Deorum, the peace between Rome and its deities that protects the city. Perhaps their blasphemy caused the fire by angering the gods. The arrests begin in late July or early August. Roman soldiers sweep through Christian communities, dragging men, women, and children from homes. Under torture, some confess, not to arson necessarily, but to being Christian or to knowing other believers. Each arrest leads to more names. The list grows exponentially. Jerome, writing centuries later, claims 979 Christians died in Nero's persecution, though this number may be inflated. What's certain is that an immense multitude, Tacitus's phrase, faced execution. These aren't quiet, private deaths. Nero designs public spectacles calculated to terrify, humiliate, and entertain Rome's population. The executions happen in Nero's private gardens on Vatican Hill, thrown open to the public for the occasion. The emperor himself mingles with crowds, dressed as a charioteer, treating mass executions as entertainment. Some Christians are sewn into animal skins, bear or wild dog pelts, and thrown into arenas. Hunting dogs, smelling animal scent, attack and tear them apart. The crowd roars approval. This recreates mythological deaths Romans know from theater and legend. Others are crucified, but not quickly. These crucifixions are designed for mockery. victims positioned in humiliating poses, nailed upside down, left to die, slowly over hours or days. Passers-by hurl insults, children throw stones, Roman citizens watch casually, eating street food, while human beings suffocate on crosses. But Nero's signature punishment is the one that gives this persecution its horrific legacy: human torches. Christians are dressed in tunics soaked with pitch, tar, and other flammable resins. These garments, called tunica molesta, the painful shirt, cling to skin. Victims are tied to stakes erected throughout Nero's gardens. As evening approaches and darkness falls, executioners light the torches, not with oil lamps, with people. The pitch ignites slowly, burning at extremely high temperatures. It adheres to flesh like napalm. As flames consume the tunic, body fat melts and fuels the fire further. Death doesn't come quickly from smoke inhalation. Victims remain conscious, feeling every second as fire eats through skin, muscle, organs. The screams echo through Nero's gardens. The smell, burning human flesh mixed with pitch smoke, chokes the air, and the emperor treats it as outdoor lighting for his garden party. Tacitus, no friend of Christianity, admits even Romans are disturbed. He writes that despite Christians deserving exemplary punishment for their crimes, people began to pity them. It became obvious they were being destroyed, not for the public good but to satisfy one man's cruelty. The executions are too theatrical, too obviously motivated by Nero's need to deflect blame. Even Romans who despise Christians recognize injustice. Whether or not Christians actually started the fire, and no credible evidence suggests they did, their punishment far exceeds any crime. This isn't justice, it's scapegoating elevated to spectacular sadism. The persecution devastates Rome's Christian community but doesn't destroy it. Survivors go underground, meeting secretly in catacombs, burial tunnels beneath the city, where they hide from authorities and bury their martyrs. Church tradition holds that both Peter and Paul die during Nero's persecution. Peter is crucified upside down at his own request on Vatican Hill. Paul, a Roman citizen entitled to quicker execution, is beheaded. Their deaths transform them from apostles into martyrs, the first of countless Christians who will die for their faith over the next 2.5 centuries. The blood of martyrs, as later church father Tertullian writes, becomes the seed of the church. Every execution creates more converts. Every public torture demonstrates Christians' willingness to die rather than deny their beliefs. That conviction impresses observers. If these people face such horrible deaths without recanting, perhaps their faith contains truth worth investigating. Nero's persecution establishes a dangerous precedent. Before AD 64, being Christian wasn't technically illegal. Christians were mostly ignored, confused with Jews who enjoyed legal protection as practitioners of an ancient religion. After the Great Fire, Christianity becomes officially suspect. Future emperors, Domitian, Trajan, Decius, Diocletian, will launch more systematic persecutions. The template is set. When Rome needs scapegoats, Christians are convenient targets. Yet paradoxically, persecution strengthens the movement. Underground churches multiply. Secret symbols, the fish, the cross, allow believers to identify each other. The faith spreads from slaves to soldiers to aristocrats. Within 3 centuries, the religion Nero tried to burn out of existence becomes Rome's official faith. Constantine converts. Theodosius makes Christianity mandatory. The empire that executed Peter builds St. Peter's Basilica over his grave. The religion blamed for burning Rome eventually conquers Rome. The AD 64 persecution marks the first time Christian faith becomes a capital crime. Nero didn't persecute Christians for what they did. No evidence ever proved they started the fire. He persecuted them for what they believed. That's the terrifying precedent. Belief itself became criminal. Refusing to worship Roman gods meant death. Acknowledging Christ as Lord meant torture. For the first time in Roman history, the state executed people not for actions, but for thoughts. Not for crimes, but for convictions. That transformation, from religious freedom to religious persecution, began in Nero's gardens when the first pitch-soaked tunic ignited. Those human torches illuminating a garden party cast shadows that would darken the next 3 centuries. Faith had become a death sentence, and thousands of believers would choose death over denial. The fire that burned Rome for 9 days in July AD 64 sparked a different kind of fire, one that couldn't be extinguished with water or demolished buildings. It sparked a fire of conviction that spread across the empire, lit by the burning bodies of martyrs who refused to recant. Nero thought he was ending a troublesome sect. Instead, he created history's most enduring faith movement. The torches burned out. The faith never did.